What's up, savvy expats? Today we have a special interview with a special expat, one of our clients hailing all the way from Arkansas. Jeff, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Jeff, when would you say we initially hopped on our first call?
About 5 months ago.
5 months ago. So it was quite some time ago. What would you say were like the main things that you reached out to me for to make this transition to the Philippines?
Make it easier transition, boots on the ground, make just everything more easy on me, and not running any issues at the airport.
Yeah.
Visas, housing.
Yeah.
All of that was a concern.
Yeah. So like the full A to Z process.
Yes.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I mean, that aside, Jeff, tell us a little bit more about yourself and like what your life was like back out in the States.
It was a day-to-day grind, just every day at 5:30 in the morning, go to work, and then come home and all over again, day after day.
You worked hard for this new life in the Philippines,
Oh,
yeah?
yes.
100%. And so you were living back in Arkansas, yeah?
Yes.
And then what were you doing for work out there?
I was a fire extinguisher and fire system tech.
So handyman.
Handyman.
I love it. I love it. Well, sweet. I mean, so we hopped on call 5 months ago. We covered pretty much what you need help with to make the move. But like, what would you say were the main reasons that you wanted to move to the Philippines? What kind of attracted you about this country?
The cost of living is less, and I watched a lot of the YouTube videos, and I was really attracted to the lifestyle out here, and I wanted to visit all the little provinces and everything out here.
Absolutely. And so when coming out here to the Philippines, the first place you landed and we got you situated was BGC.
Yes.
How do you like BGC?
Oh, it's super. It's a little bit expensive, but compared to the United States, it's still not as expensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How's the cost of living been for you, like in general, so far?
It's less. I mean, you can go overboard anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can spend way too much very easily. But if you just conservative and everything, then you'll have a good time.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the main things that you'd say, you mentioned to me that is a little bit costly here is like organic food, right?
Right.
So like the same food that you'd get in the States. Obviously, Jeff's a big guy, pretty much a bodybuilder here,
No.
right? But like food is like one of those bigger expenses out here, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Eating clean is very expensive here.
Yeah. So when you initially came to me, Jeff, before you actually arrived out here, you were kind of eyeing up two places in the Philippines. Can you kind of break that down for everybody?
The province, more of a province style or big city living, and I'm yet to experience the other half, but that's coming now. The other half province type.
Exactly. On the 19th, yeah? So this Thursday and 2 days from now, Jeff will be moving out to Baguio. So you spent the majority of your time out here in BGC, but
Yes.
yeah, I think about a month ago, we were looking at some places in Baguio, and we found the winter chicken dinner there.
Oh yes.
So I'm looking forward to it. How much is the rent there in your place, Jeff?
$414.
$414.
Yes.
Safe to say it's a little bit cheaper than the States,
Oh
yeah?
yeah. Well, and the cost of living will be cheaper because of the electricity is not being used in Baguio.
Exactly. The electricity bill you wouldn't have to worry about out there. And for a lot of the expats, including yourself when watching the channel, they think like, oh, Evan only talks about BGC or shows expats moving to BGC. But I guess you're kind of the oddball here because you chose to move up to the mountains in Baguio. Why did you want to move to Baguio as opposed to like either other provinces in the Philippines or even BGC itself?
Well, I just wanted to experience the mountain atmosphere, cooler temperatures. It's got a little bit more laid back lifestyle but yet not so as impoverished or as a pure province.
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of a mix of both.
Yeah, 100%. You do get the best of both worlds out there because like you like a quiet lifestyle, right?
Right.
And so to have that quiet life up in the mountains, cool air, cool breeze, while still not being as if you're dropped into the middle of the jungle, I think that's a good mix, like you mentioned. What would you say were some of like the big bottlenecks that you experienced when initially planning out the move out here to the Philippines?
Getting your banking, everything, you've got to have all your banking correct, your final paperwork done, and then the rest of it was pretty easy after that.
Yeah. What help did you get from our services, Jeff, that kind of helped you overcome the planning or the bottlenecks of your move here?
Well, I didn't have to think a whole lot, just kind of observe everything that you showed me. I mean, you've taken me on tours. You've showed me the provinces in the Baguio, and just took all the guesswork out of it, showing it to me.
Yeah.
And let me experience it. And then I had a safety net too with you there. In case something went wrong, I could always fall back and ask for, guidance and all that. And that's been a positive thing the whole way, is having somebody there that because I'm not here alone now. I have you and your team to fall back, and they always support me.
Yep.
100% in everything I've done. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
that was a good positive thing.
I'm glad to hear that, Jeff. And kind of having that peace of mind, how did it affect your move for you?
It just made everything easy. Took all the worry and all the fear out of it pretty much. The whole time I've been here, no worries.
I'm glad to hear that, Jeff. Well, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of expats out here where, they kind of want to make the move by themselves, and they end up either getting skin tax in the condo, or they run around with a lot of paperwork, just kind of guessing what to do, missing steps. For those that are kind of DIY sort of person, where they want to do it themselves, what would you say to them that, are on the fence of either doing it themselves versus actually getting like professional guidance?
You can DIY it. That's a definite. You can definitely do it yourself. But I've seen some people get taken advantage of here already, and I was not one of them.
Yeah.
But it's on you. You don't have a safety net. You don't have anybody to back you up if you had an issue with something or didn't understand something, and it just made the transition quicker, not so long and intense and everything for me. So
yep, absolutely.
It's ease of.
And I will say it's just not even a one-way streak of us helping you out, Jeff. Like, for our team, it's been such a joy, especially for Jerica, like hanging out with you, spending time with you, and going out to Baguio, because you've been really easy going throughout the entire process. So it's been a joy on both of our ends. What would you say your experience was like using our services?
Well, it's been fantastic. Julie is wonderful. Jerica is just a great person. Kuya Jim is just fantastic. Right now, I'm currently living 200 meters from him.
That's our driver. Yeah, that's our driver. So Julie is one of our relocation specialists, and then Jim's our driver. But we're all pretty close together,
right?
Which is so convenient.
Everybody's within minutes.
Exactly.
If you're in the central BDC area, everybody's within minutes of you. And any issues that arose, you just make that call, and you'll have assistance.
Well, sweet, Jeff. I appreciate all the feedback, and kind of switching gears here. What would you say were some of the main culture shocks that you experienced here?
The poverty can be just
heart-wrenching.
Overwhelming. Yeah, it's overwhelming in spots. The poverty, and then you can have so heavy of a poverty, and 100 yards down, so wealthy of a place.
Yep.
It's just night and day. What affected me the most was the difference between poverty and those that have.
It is interesting you bring that up, Jeff, because the wealth gap out here in the Philippines is so large.
Yes.
Of course, we have the low class, middle class, upper class in the States. Middle class shrinking, but here the middle class is very, very small.
Right.
Compared to what we have in the States, and so it's extremely visible when you walk out on the streets. When you're in your Grab going down the road, you can really see it, and it is overwhelming. That's definitely a good point. As far as your life here in the Philippines, Jeff, how would you say your life has changed being here in the Philippines in comparison to your life previously back in the States?
It's easy to make friends, and that's a positive thing about the Philippines. 99% of the people here are just super nice, easy to get to know. They want to speak to you. They want to be your friends. Whereas in the U.S. it's not so much. You might look at somebody in the U.S. and they give you a bad look, but here most people want to be your friend or know you.
They're warm,
gentle people. I found out something also. You need to really pay attention how you talk to people out here in the U.S. In the U.S., we can talk to people jokingly, say things in remarks.
Yeah.
It's not taking the same here. You need to be careful how you speak to people. They
That's
get
a good point.
real quick.
Really, it boils down to sarcasm
Right.
not being as common in this culture.
Right.
So yeah, be careful when you guys are sarcastic. If you say it's raining, even if you say it's like raining cats and dogs,
Yeah.
like little sayings like that, it's not really known. So
Yeah.
be weary of that.
I said one day, I said, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on getting that object.
Yeah.
And the person looked at me and pull the trigger. You know, they have no concept that, okay, that I'm just going to do it. You know, pull the trigger. So yes.
I bet the clerk was about to run outside the store, call for security.
Yeah.
And as a whole, how would you say like the locals have treated you here in the Philippines, Chef?
The locals, that's the most friendly part. Is you can go down into the more impoverished areas and they're just super people, way friendly. Now some of them can't speak a lot of English, you know, the further you go into that, but it's just super. You can have a good time here with a little caution. Don't, you know, nowhere is just 100% safe. You know, it just depends on where you're at, what time of the day.
Yep.
Here in BGC, you can walk around 2 or 3 in the morning and not have an issue.
You're
know.
safe. You're
but
safe.
if you're going to go to a bad part in Manila, and you might not want to be there at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's when all the not nice people would be there.
Exactly. And Jeff, I mean, as somebody that's already moved to the Philippines, what advice would you give to those other expats that are kind of on the fence, don't even know where to start, but they want this new chapter of their life in this country? What advice would you give to them?
Just go slow. Stay somewhere. Really absorb yourself into the community first, and then make a decision after that. You know, I would also suggest you get accustomed to the weather patterns, because I learned real quick, you better have an umbrella with you in this area.
Oh yeah.
It rains right now, especially it rains every day, and I had to learn that quick. Carry an umbrella. You're going to carry a lot of things with you, but yeah, become accustomed, learn the Philippines, and then start adventuring out at that point, if that's your goal.
Yep, absolutely. It just comes down to the lifestyle that you guys are looking for. And last question, Jeff, what are your plans from here?
Well, I'm going to absorb into Baguio, and man, I'm just going to experience the Philippines, and then I'm going to start, just like I said, I'm going to adventure out and experience all of it that I can get to. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we just have a few final things to check off. We're going to help Jeff with his move into Baguio, complete all of that, and then also open up your bank account.
Yep.
We already got the tourist visa extended. We got your ACR card. So we're pretty much almost ready to go. And then as for now, you're just going to be exploring. So I really look forward to the tons of stories you're going to collect over these next few months.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for following along the Jeff series, these past 3 videos.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one. God bless.